Alright, hello. Yeah, sorry for scheduling this stream a little bit late. I woke up and I realized that, like, holy hell, I didn't schedule it, so, yeah. This is day 40, studying compilers every day until I land a compiler role. Um, yeah. Again, it's before the LeetCode Daily refreshed. Um, I did the daily that came out today already, so, unfortunate, but, yeah. Initially the plan for today was to clean up memtoreg and then figure out branching control flow and to actually like generate stuff for it. But the more I think about it, the more I realize I should probably generate that first so we can test what we already have. And it's a little bit of parser work, it's a little bit of mess, but it shouldn't be that bad. Oh, what's good, John? Good to see you. I just opened up Firefox like I was gonna do a LeetCode problem. Okay, let's what to do here. Yeah, today is quite early. My class schedule is a little bit funky, so I'm giving it a shot. If this feels alright, then I might do more streams at this time. It's feeling like I probably won't want to do that though. This seems a little bit early for my sleep schedule. I'd enjoy sleeping in a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, front end. So we need to be able to parse if and else statements. What's the best place to do this? So we can start with the parser. Or actually no, we should start with the AST. I had this set up on a notepad. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, okay. This is not the right file. Okay. So I know we want a instruction if, at least. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle else yet, but oh, that's good, MD. Strange time for stream today because my classes are all in the afternoon, and I want to try and have my evening empty for various different reasons today. Let's see. Definitely want a visitor. That is the bare minimum here. What does this have? Okay, you know what? We're actually gonna change the plans a little bit. Let me undo everything I did here. Okay. So initially the plan was to do this, but I'm starting to realize this is a little bit awkward to do actually, because we don't really have proper expression parsing yet. So the only comparison we could do is just like if unsigned int 64, which is like really ugly. I'm really tempted to just throw in like proper expression parsing, but honestly I feel like that might be a little bit counterproductive for now. Yeah, I guess this means we aren't changing plans whatsoever, but it's something I'm thinking about at least. So we want an identifier. send the compare value, and then what do we do from here? I guess we would need a body for sure. How do we do that? Is this a unique putter? Or is there a scope that's a unique putter? Have you hit the diamond problem before? Yes. The way I got around it is just specifying more, I think. Okay, so the scope is a unique putter, which I guess makes sense, but it's a little bit annoying. We could actually just make an else block as well, which is kind of funny. Then else. What's wrong here? Oh. True, I guess, true T branch, and then F branch. Okay, so then we have MD, I can't lie, I woke up like 20 minutes ago. I don't have like the brain cells for this right now. No fault on your end, but I don't think I have the mental capacity for this yet. This should actually just be an atom. So we have a compare, we have a oh, this doesn't even need to be a scope, this needs to be an instruction. It just occurred to me. Caffeine? Nah. Fuck that shit. I've gotten 7 hours of sleep, I just need to like not be groggy. The comparator, the true branch, and we have the false branch. That's constructor. We will need getters for all these. What do you do then to not be groggy? Just stay awake for like an hour, or like just lock in? Yeah, it's nothing really particularly interesting. Okay, so we have the compare. Then we can just do this. And then do that. Okay. Yeah, and that's all the getters. One other thing I want to make here is how do I want to represent just if statements without an else in the AST? And I'm thinking about just checking if F branch is a null pointer. That might be the easiest. But then there's like a little bit of comparison, so it might be easier just to make another object. But that's also like a little bit of code duplication, so I kind of want to avoid that as much as possible. So maybe we also might have a constructor that just doesn't have F branch. Right? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's give that a try at least. Or maybe we could just not do it for now, and then if the need comes up, then we will make that. Also we need a visitor for this. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's steal all of this. Calls. Oh, these are. Okay. Oh, right, that's an interface. Okay, this is fine. It's better than $75 to get coffee? Yeah. The only thing better is just spending nothing, I suppose. Okay, what do we want to do here? Gonna move, comp. I should probably just I should unironically set up like snippets so I don't have to type std move every time, because this is like really driving me insane. But I just haven't had I haven't had a reason to, I guess, do snippets yet until this point. Oh, these need to be moves again. There we go. Okay. This constructor. Instruction if. Instruction if. Let's just steal this. This might be faster. And then this is everyone's favorite easy function. That's good, Mr. Hoodoo. Nice hair, thank you. Okay, I think this is the basic AST stuff we need here. Yeah, okay. So now we can. I don't think we need to change anything here, right? Oh, right, we need to update toString visitor. You get the role you want? Thank you. It might be a while, but hopefully we get there someday. Okay, can override. Yeah, that seems fine. Now we need to implement this. Okay, so what do we want in this? A prefix plus okay. If, and then parentheses. Yeah, good to see someone else not be a coffee drinker, I suppose. So this, what do we want? So this should be cond. Or, oh, cond. I'm actually gonna rename that real quick. There we go. Also this needs to be get conned. And then we need to change here. There we go. Okay, all fixed. So you want get conned. And then toString. And this takes in symbol tape. Oh wow, I can't type. Okay. Just curious, what courses and studies do you take when first began programming? I started. So in high school, when I took like AP classes, I did a little bit of like JavaScript and Java, which is just like curriculum. In college, the first programming class I took here was in Racket, which is like a functional language. It's very frequently used in like research for programming languages, but unfortunately, it's not really like human usable. That and also MATLAB for some reason, because like our engineering curriculum really pushes it. And then I proceeded to learn C and C++, but I think the first language I like truly understood how to use was Python. So I don't think it really matters what language you learn, just that A, it's something that you want to use, or like it's used in the applications that you care about, and B, you actually go out and make projects with that language, so you can build up proficiency. And if you're at a point where you don't need to look up the reference for most things, then I think that's a pretty good spot to be in. Or at least like if you can like write 95% of your code without looking up a reference, I think that's really good. And like you don't need to like force it or anything. You can just kind of learn it naturally through working on personal projects. That's the other big thing. Okay. So I need this for sure. I'm just gonna be a little bit messy with this. Yeah, of course. How did I handle this? Let's see what the result. And then, oh, that's ugly. Okay, so then we assemble res at the end is what I'm getting. Okay. So with old prefix, you want, or maybe we could assemble a res up here. Or yes, if res. The major in applied math was trying to get into CS engineering, but the seats were taken. Yeah, I think applied math is also a really good place to end up. I was like, I think the nice thing about like math adjacent majors is that they all kind of just teach you how to learn, which is really helpful in terms of like just job hunting as well. Even in just like in like CS land. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Do you want to just always include braces here? That might be smart. But that seems a little bit annoying, so I won't do that. So we need old prefix to store that, and then inside of here we want to handle then, and then we want to handle else. So string tcon tbranch. So then we want to visit so we want to get the true branch. Accept this. I think this is this how I did it? Yeah. So we can even just do this. There's a lot of MATLAB and R courses algorithms. Yeah, I think that's a very solid foundation actually. I think MATLAB and R are unfortunately like kind of being phased out just in general due to just how powerful Python is, but I still think they're quite valuable at least. They definitely teach you to think in a different way, which I think is quite nice. Okay, so we wanna check if the second value even exists. So so if I get f branch is not null putter. So we also want stud string f branch. Actually no, we can just add directly. So if it's not a null pointer, then it exists. So then we can do that. F branch. Yeah, there we go. So we get the true branch, and then we want to add it onto there, I guess. So I was gonna dynamic cast real quick just to see if the instruction in the true branch was a scope, but that's kind of slow. So I'm just gonna check the first character of the result, and if it's a brace, then we can just treat it differently. So T branch 0. If this is not, or if this is. Actually is not brace, then we need to do different behavior. Actually, we need to add something regardless. So we want to, if res, we want to add, so we want to check this first. If it's true, then we can even just do like this. Okay. So if it is a brace, then that is a scope. So then we just add a space. I just realized I used the wrong character here. So question mark. So if it's true, then it's that. Then otherwise we add a new line, and then we add the prefix. Yeah, so we go to a new line, and then we add the prefix to indent it. Prefix? Yeah, that seems reasonable. It's gonna become chem physics, but I change it to math since not one to memorize. Bio would have been tough, yeah. It's normal to forget what the lines of code do after weeks of abandoning projects. Yeah. There's plenty of memes about how like, at one point someone like someone knew what the code did, and after a while nobody knows. What's good, Bad and Vinay? Welcome to the stream. I'm building a compiler from x86 or from C to x86, and right now I'm trying to add if statements. Currently, I have the parser built. I have a little bit of front-end desugaring and like scope removal, and then I have a singular optimization in the middle end. I have not gone to the back end yet, but I want to focus on more middle end optimizations. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that involves just building out the front end a little bit more first. The front end and the middle end first. What's going wrong here? Why is this breaking? T branch 0. Maybe I just need to like, no. Let me just do T. Nope, that still doesn't resolve. What? Why is this breaking? Oh, there's the closing parenthesis. Which language is this? This is C++. Are you already a math major? I'm actually just a CS major. I've taken a compilers class and I've done a lot of reading in my free time. I also do compiler research, but I felt a little bit like an imposter because I've never known a lot in terms of like raw implementation. So that's part of why I'm working on this at least. Oh wait, we already add prefix, so we can actually just get rid of that. And that solves our problem, because that was the true branch was adding a character, the false branch was adding a string. Yeah, okay. So that's prefix. Scope is fine. Then we can add T branch proper. And then we can do the same thing here for the false branch. So we can steal this. We should add an else as well. We need to do this like gross comparison thing as well on here. Best of luck. What you're doing right now is really crazy. I'm learning C now. Yeah, C is simple, but I feel like the complexity gets messy really quickly. Whereas in like you can like write yourself a ball of yarn and get stuck really easily. I recommend you to learn reverse engineering. That's kind of what I'm doing here actually. I've been like looking at the LLVM reference, which is like the big compiler infrastructure that runs Clang, if you've heard of it, or like the Rust compiler, or like ClangD, which gives me these like nice LSP features. I've been looking at that, at least in terms of like figuring out how to design things, and the optimizer memory representation actually is, I think, pretty much one-to-one to their IR, just significantly simplified. So as an example here, this is an example. If you compare this to like LLVM IR generated by a similar program, it should look pretty similar. There might be some differences here and there just based on like me not having had the time to implement everything yet, but this is at least a start. Nah, honestly, everyone's a little bit of an imposter. Like, that's kind of CS's whole sell. It's just like anyone can do it. Also, this AC is loud. Sorry about that. There we go. How does math overlap with CS? The big thing is there's a lot of so I guess like CS, you can kind of think of CS as a branch and subset of math, right? There's a lot of algorithms behind it. Like there's a lot of algorithm stuff that requires proofs, and that's like the most direct and obvious overlap. But even there was another example I was thinking of. Damn. So there's proofs for stuff. I guess a lot of the data structures, or a lot of like the logic behind it has a lot of underpinnings in math. So like graphs and trees, for instance, a lot of that comes, I guess that is literally math. It's just applied into like a coding context. So yeah, bottom line, like, another example is just like, at least in our intro sequence for CS, we have to take a discrete math class, and a lot of people take it and then they're like, this sucks. Like, yeah, a lot of people take it and they're like, this sucks. This isn't programming. But the reality is CS is just like a subfield of math. You look way more fucked up than the last time I saw. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Just like a little bit tired. I woke up literally half an hour ago. I woke up and I was like, oh crap, I forgot to schedule the stream. So I scheduled it, brushed my teeth, and sat down and started streaming. Yeah, you're good. You're good. There's one more example of CS being math though. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, I'll figure it out in a second. Okay, so we need to add else. Actually, this needs to be up here. So let's get some else. Okay, how do I want to format this? This is such a mess. So if the previous one was a scope, we want it to like stay attached to the thing, I think. Right? Is that how we format it? Let's give this a try. So if something, then we have a scope here, else. Can I like TS buff? Can I like set the language for tree sitter here? Tree sitter set language buffer. Emacs, yuck. Okay, TS update? No, okay. Well, I can't do that, but. Let's see. Let me just go to. Let's just open up a new C file real quick. We should have something in test that we can mess around with. We'll just do that for now. Okay, that does work, which is, I guess, how I want to format it. I don't really know how to explain it, so yeah. The mindset and analytical thinking from CS is the same as a math major? Yes, exactly. Actually, let me just give another example that's pertinent. So one of the books I've been reading to, I guess, learn about various compiler things. It's like colloquially referred to as the SSA book because it talks about like SSA form, which is like static single assignment. You can look up like the specific details of that. You can look up the specific details like on Wikipedia if you want, but that's not really important for this example. Yeah, so I have a PDF of the book, and there's like not necessarily proofs, but there's a lot of like a lot of code snippets or like pseudocode that I guess this is kind of like the overlap between math and CS in like a literal sense, at least. Just as an example, it's like these sorts of algorithms. There's a lot of like mathematical notation that just having math knowledge is useful for understanding. Like this sort of stuff, for instance. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend too long here. You can find this book through legitimate or illegitimate means. I'm not endorsing anything here, but you know what to do. Video game devs need to know math. Yes, that is another perfect domain. There's a lot of like 3D math, a lot of physics necessary just to like get game engines to do what you want. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so if the true branch was a scope, then we just need to add a space. Otherwise, we need to add a new line, which, yeah, fair enough. This is about right. But this should actually be a string because we want to add a new line and then we want to add a prefix. I guess old prefix actually. Yeah, of course. Funnily enough, I don't think that was the example I was thinking of still, so. Yeah, if I think of it, I will bring it up again, but yeah, that might be a bit. Okay, then we do the same thing for the FOSS branch pretty much. This is pretty straightforward. And then we add the F branch. Yeah, and then that should be set. Can you do this tutorial on your new event setup? It looks cool. Yeah, it's, I guess, first of all my dot files are on my GitHub, so feel free to just like take a look through those if you're curious about any of the specifics. But yeah, I guess you could just like take a look through here at a glance. Take a screenshot if you want. Those are the loaded ones, and then lazy dev is just for like me writing things, but yeah. This is like the screenshotable, I guess, frame, if you want to just take a quick screenshot. Yeah. You can also just like pause the stream and go back to this. Yeah, maybe I'll do that at some point. I don't think it's really anything that important for what it's worth. It's just like a couple of plugins I find useful. Yeah, of course. Cybersecurity. Yeah, I think that is a pretty good place to go as well. Real quick, let me check that this is all good. Space or new line, else space or new line. Okay. Okay, so then we can reset the prefix and then we can set res, I believe. How did I handle this for toString for scope? Oh, I don't even add prefix to that? That seems a little bit slow. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, this seems fine. Do you recommend starting programming by learning Python first? I think Python's a pretty good first language. It's simple enough. It teaches you like basic code formatting because you like literally need to for your code to run. And it's also just like really useful in pretty much any avenue you would use programming. What's up, lazy one, but the snippets just didn't work. Yeah, that's tough. Honestly, I feel like there's like two schools of thought as to whether you should is LazyVim the pre-built NeoVim config, or is it the package manager? I forget which one is which. LazyVim is the full pre-built config. Some people think that it's nice to start with a pre-built config because then you get an idea of like which features you like. Some people think that it's better to just like start from scratch and then add plugins until you kind of have a config you like. I personally started with just nothing and built it up from the ground up. It's all preference at the end of the day. I also don't have snippets set up, so I can't really help you with that one, unfortunately. But I also just like straight keyboard code in instead of using autocomplete most of the time, so like, eh. Okay, that should be good for the two-string visitor. Let's get the parser updated. This is gonna be really annoying, actually. What's a compiler role? It's a job where I can hopefully work on compilers for or without pay, I guess. Okay, so we need to add a new keyword first of all, I believe. We need to add 2 more keywords. So we need if, and then else. Okay. I know C but not C++, help. Well, the good news is that C++ is a superset of C. So if you know C, you do technically know some C++ already. And then from there, it's just like object-oriented slush, to be honest. Okay, so we want... We want to add if and if else, I guess. So we have a bunch of template mess here, which is unfortunate, but... So we need keyword if, then left parenthesis, I guess ignorable. I haven't extended this parser in so long. This makes me simultaneously really happy and really upset, actually. Ignorable, we need a value, I think. Yeah, we need a value. What language are you making the compiler in? The compiler is for C, but it is written in C++. Can we watch Linus videos? I keep saying if we have time. I haven't had time. Tonight I absolutely won't have time. I might have time tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I'm not making any guarantees, but yeah. So we have this. I mean, because I'm kind of doing this in a hacky way. So here, so far we have so we have if, and some number of spaces, parentheses, and then like 0 as an example for now. Have you done any network programming? Yeah, I took the networking class as well, the year before Aiden did. I did like the same projects, but low-key I don't remember any of it because the class was just so bad. Yes, I'm using ClingD. I feel like it's the only LSP that makes sense at least. Let's see. How do we want to mash this? So then here we want instruction any, I guess? If Aiden was a data structure, what data structure would he be? I'll have to think about that. Let me get this penned in real quick. This needs a ignorable, and then this needs a instruction any. Yeah. And yeah, that should be good for this gross ass template. We need to have for declare instruction any. Let's actually put these four declares together. Yeah, there we go. That fixes up most of this mess. Is there a specific library you're using? Only for the parser, because I really don't care about writing parsers. I'm using Pectool, which is parsing expression template. Parsing expression grammar template library. So it takes Peg, which is like these parsing expressions, and then it's I guess like a header only library that uses templates to generate a parser from them. Have you looked into MLR? I've heard of it. I've like done a little bit of exploratory work, but I haven't gotten to mess around with it properly. Ignorable, and then else, and then ignorable, and then instruction any. So if parenthesis value, closing parenthesis, other instruction, else other instruction. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit annoying to actually like add into here because the order matters for this expression. So where do we want to insert this? I guess it probably goes above all of these at least. Let's just apply if match. So we want instruction if else because we want to check if it has an else branch first, and if it doesn't, then we can try just without the else branch. Most impressive library in every language. I mean, Rust and Go are pretty obvious answers. I feel like C++ the equivalent has to be Boost. I don't know enough about C. Python, probably just like, I feel like NumPy is iconic. I feel like it's very representative. Actually Go, I don't know off the top of my head. I haven't written off Go, but Rust is definitely Tokyo. New here, this looks awesome. What are you writing a compiler for? First of all, welcome. It's a good time writing code on stream. This is a compiler from C to x86-64. Rust, I'm mostly just thinking Tokyo, because I don't think anyone would use Rust if it weren't for that, to be honest. Or there might be some uses, but they'd be relatively limited and relatively few and far in between. Okay. So the other thing we need to add is the actual action for for parsing the if statement, which will make a little bit of a mess, but that's kind of how it is. Let's see, how do we do this? This is gonna make a mess out of my code, actually. But it was already a mess to begin with, so that's fine. Let's just steal this block. Let's just clear all that out real quick. And then we need an if else. We choose one scripting language. What would it be? Surely Python. Currently following the LVM toy compiler tutorial. Yeah, that's a pretty good tutorial. I did that on stream for my first 20 days roughly, and I definitely learned a lot from it. So it gets big thumbs up from me. Okay, so we want to make an if. Choose Python, you get no bash? Honestly, I'll take it. Bash is terrible. I hate bash. Like, it's useful and it's important, but I hate it still. Yeah, here we are. How do I store instructions? Is it in a scope? Active scopes, stop back. Okay, I see. Okay, so we want to get the back instruction for if, at least. So we want cond first. Cond will be an atom. Yeah, we can also, like, we could probably write a shell with Python. It'd be a little bit silly, but it would be doable. And hey, that'd make a fun project, so yeah, that might be fun. Okay, so we want, what do we want here? Auto back equals, so we want to get parsed atoms back. Can I write something like GNU-Sim, but for x86-64? Let me look it up real quick. What is GNU-Sim? Oh, I see. Yeah, that could be interesting. That might be a fun project to look into. Yeah, I'd have to build up to get to that point, but that'd be interesting. Kind of look like Thanos from Squid Games. I get that one a surprising amount for quite obvious reasons. Yeah, I appreciate it though. Okay, so we don't want to recast this, so we can just name the thing. So this is cond. Best Linux splicing secrets. Don't do it. It's not worth the time. It's really not worth the time. The number of hours I've burnt on that could have easily been spent reading a whole book. I imagine the number only grows in the future. Okay, so we have cond, and we want to get the if I suspect this might not parse something correctly, but we'll see how that goes. So we want active scopes dot back, right? Oh, right. That doesn't work the way we want it to. Okay. We might have to do a little bit of redesigning. Maybe we just do a pop instruction. Have you done any proper functional programming? Yes. Our first intro class is in Racket. So, for better or for worse, I've done a little bit of it. Oh wait, we can just get instructions dot back. And then we can what'd you think of Racket? I thought it was alright. A lot of people dislike it because they didn't know what was going on. Initially I disliked it, but then I realized it's quite nice, honestly. I think it made the class a good intro to programming languages as well. Assembled an MVP of my idea, but I'm stuck planning where to list the work I need to do. I've been using Notion, at least just in general. But I honestly don't think it really matters that much. Just like as long as you can like slap everything down somewhere. I have like a small Notion list going. I also have in this directory I have like a list of like features I want to get done at least. So something like this might be useful. I can actually get rid of that one now because that's done. But yeah, this is like an example. I did this on stream at one point. You could also use like GitHub's project management thing. I forgot what it's called. But it was alright. It's very Kanban-esque. It makes me feel like I'm using Jira, which is either a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. Yeah, I think Racket is really similar to Common Lisp. I think it's just like extended for like PL related reasons. Yeah, okay. So we have this. So we pop back and then we want to make the new instruction. Yeah, of course. So let's make an instruction if, and this takes cond std move. And then null putter. And then we can add the instruction. There we go. What's wrong here? Oh, did I forget to extend instruction? Yeah, I forgot to extend instruction. There we go. Okay, it fixed. Nice. Okay, so we get to replicate the same thing here pretty much, I believe. Okay. We just do the same thing, but we also get F branch. Yeah, my keyboarding is a little bit weak right now. But, oops. Yeah, okay. This seems reasonable enough. but we changed this to F branch. Why is this not working? Oh. Of course, because I need a move, you know. It always has to have a move. Okay, I think that's the parser updated then. So for now, what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna go here and we're just gonna make sure the parser works. So we're actually just gonna we're gonna just comment all of that out, and then let's move this up here. Yeah, let's just make a mess out of this. Hopefully this builds at least. Oh yeah, of course that doesn't build yet. What's good, Skittles? I need to update that visitor. Actually, I don't need to comment any of this out. I can avoid making a mess. Oh Jesus, there's so much slush here. Okay, so we can steal that. We don't have if statements in the HR yet, but that's the next step. And actually, no, that isn't even the next step. We're just gonna use like jumps for that, or like go-tos. Okay, where do all the visitors live? Where'd they go? Ah, here we are. Let's just steal that line. That seems about right, and then we can just do that for now. Hopefully this builds. I'd be annoyed if it didn't. Okay, it builds. Let's make sure you didn't break anything as well. Okay. So then we can... This is our little like test directory that we've been messing around with. Let's make if.c. Let's do main. Let's look at another test as an example. So we have oh wait, these aren't even unsigned ints. Wait, that makes a mess. Only 98 more till 1k? That's pretty neat. Thank you all for, I guess, contributing to that one. Okay, so let's do cond equals 1. Cond, then I'll just do that. Yeah, that should work. We need to edit the make file real quick. It should take in if.c. That doesn't do what I wanted to. AST. Okay. Thanos Squid Games cooking up a compiler? Yep. Maybe that's what I should have named the series, to be honest. Just like Thanos studies compilers until he gets employed. that would have been pretty funny, low-key. Well, this looks like this parses correctly, at least. Wait, no it doesn't. Wait, it's missing something. Yeah, I said the E word, my fault. Okay, I did something wrong here. So if the true branch had that, then space, otherwise, yeah, this should be fine. So why is this doing that? This is like opposite logic of what I'm looking for. Okay, let's actually just get rid of the else here even. Okay, why is this doing that? What is the scope doing? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so that does add the thing to it. Do you want to just, maybe it'd be easier if we trim leading white space? Okay, result.substr. Actually, no, we need T-branch for that. So we want T-branch dot. Ah, this is such a mess. The way I've designed this, unfortunately, kind of does this. Okay, what to do? Maybe. No, I don't have prefix regardless. All of this is just like formatting. Is like the dumb thing here. I'm definitely overcomplicating this. Wouldn't dynamic cast be faster than just searching the string? Feels like it'd be cleaner, but I would not say it's faster at least. Okay, well. Okay. What happens actually, just out of curiosity? Does this have an implicit scope to it? Yeah, okay. But this would work? What do you mean true doesn't exist? Does this work? Okay, that doesn't work. Okay. Okay, perfect. Let's see. So what is breaking here? We need to trim leading white space, at least I think. Okay. So you could just like how do we trim leading white space? I'll trim. Wait, this is a thing? Find first not of. That's crazy. Okay, well, I guess we're using that. Okay. So if this is a space that this is so dumb. Because okay, it's gonna start with a space. That's a guarantee. Oh, we can just first not of space actually. And then we can make this a little bit prettier. This should exist, right? It's in string. It's not in string? Is this deprecated? Where does this come from? It should exist. So then how do I use this? This is so Sigma? I suppose, yeah. Thanos Legend with distro is this. So I'm on Windows, but I'm running Fedora and WSL. What is data? The string. So this should... What? That should work. Oh, wait, no, I see. T-branch dot find first not of. Yeah, Windows, famously open source. This is a size T. So we want to access that char. So this would make it a scope, then this seems fine. Otherwise, then we just want to append this. T-branch. Oh wait, we can just steal this stuff. That's really funny. Yeah, my laptop is running Arch. The only reason I'm using Windows on here is because I have a Valorant addiction, and I can't really play Valorant on Linux, unfortunately. So, for better or for worse, I'm kind of stuck on this. Let's replace that with is. Okay, 2 changes, nice. Okay, so how do we want to handle this? How do we want to do this? Okay. So if it's a scope, then we want to trim the white space, I guess. What's your experience on Arch? Yeah, there's a lot of maintenance, but also, honestly, I feel like it runs better than a lot of things. Super early stream, yeah, I'm trying this out because I want to do things at night that don't involve writing code. Yeah, good to see you here, Janine. Thanks for showing up. Okay, so we want to. I'm gonna add a space, and then we want to add so this we need to new line plus the true branch. And we can actually just add the new line here as well. Actually, yeah. New line. Yeah, and then we'd have to insert the literal else word. So we can handle that as we go. Actually, in the instance we don't have an else, we have to just do this. Have you tried Rust? Yes. I've done one project in Rust. I enjoyed it a lot. Ironically, I ended up writing more unsafe Rust than safe Rust, but that's how the cookie crumbles. So we want branch.subster at we're doing a little bit of egregious code. Windows honestly Windows eats RAM for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also, I just like customizing things, which is It's kind of, I guess, the big sell of Arch. If I wanted to just like get something done though, I would just be using Fedora, honestly. Okay, so we can do this. And we can do the same thing in here. What project do you do with Rust? It was a compiler front end actually. Our compiler research group has a memory optimizing compiler that generates bindings for C and C++. So I pretty much extended that to also generate bindings for Rust as well. And it was pretty neat. I thought it was neat, at least. So we want f branches scope, f branch at f branch dot find first of. This unsafe in front end. Well, it's the compiler front end, I should specify. It's not like web dev front end, but like the literal compiler front end. So the stuff that handles parsing down to the memory representation. And I guess the reason it was unsafe for us was because our idea was just to like reuse the existing C and C++ bindings. So we just externed those with like bindgen, and for better or for worse, that just requires unsafe. Okay, all of that's up there. Okay. Okay, so we need to figure out toString slush here. So if T branch is scope, all right, we need to add either a new line or, yeah. So we want if res. Need to try programming fish. I could give it a shot. I don't think it's not something I really want to use though, because like, I honestly just don't really care too much about trying out different shells. I could probably get it on WSL, but it's like, Bash does what I want it to. I tried switching to Z shell at one point and I was like, this is too much work. So, too much work for like no perceived benefit. So I figured I may as well just stick to Bash and call it a day. Okay, so if T branch is scope, then we want to add a space. Yeah, space. Otherwise, I'm going to add a new line, and then line plus prefix, old prefix. So keyboard in the background, yeah, I played piano for a while, and this is the closest thing I can get. I'm a little bit washed though, so. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so this is the scope edition, this is the unscoped edition. This should be good, I think. Let's try building. Make ST. Well, that looks better. That still looks quite unideal. Yeah, okay. How do we make this prettier? Let's just make another random helper function, actually, that trims a string. We're just gonna duplicate code. I don't gaff. I really don't gaff. That, and then is there a find last of? Find last not of space. This is so gross. Find the last new line. This string manip shit is like so gross. I should just generate this in a less ugly way. Yeah, okay. Well, we're just gonna do it this way. So we want 0, comma, last new line. So that substring. And that should have a closing brace. So we want to add old indent, old prefix, plus character. And we need to do the same for the other one. I think this got worse. Yeah, I think this definitely got worse. Can you study Temple OS? Might be worth a shot. Probably won't, but no guarantees. Oh god, why is this so super broken? Oh wait, do I need to just not do this old prefix stuff? I can try without that even. What if I just... Okay, let's undo all of this actually. That mess. Because I think this is fine realistically. That. Yeah. Okay, well this looks actually exactly correct. That's really funny. Okay, well, now we know what to get rid of. Temple OS is on the list. Maybe you might expect it. You might expect to see it in 7 months, in a 7 months later stream. No guarantees though. Okay, so let's try adding an else block. Okay, that works perfectly. And then, what if we get rid of the braces? Yeah, that looks... Oh, wait, I didn't handle the indent here properly. Okay. Let me just make this a string though. Let's yank around the quotes. Let's paste over that. And this should print properly now. Yippee, okay. I think this should also handle else ifs properly. Let's just write this for now. Wait. That doesn't do what I want it to. Something's wrong in here. Okay, let's just go to that directory. Why does that happen? I guess it's parsed wrong then. Oh, because it eats it up. Right, that's what happens. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Wait. What? Wait, how did this happen? Okay, wait. Let's just get another sample program. Why is this breaking? This is not parsing properly. What? Let's put this in braces. Yeah, so that does what I want it to. Huh. Wait, no, it doesn't do what I want it to. These conditions are swapped. What? How did this happen? How did we get here? If cond conn2, if cond, that's correct. When we go inside, we parse that one. What? How the hell is this happening? Was? Well, at least it's indenting correctly, but like, why are these swapped? So if I just get rid of this. Wait, that's still broken. Wait a second. Oh, I know what's happening. I just realized. Okay. How do I even begin to explain this? Actually, it's... Okay, so let's go to the front end. Let's go to the parser. So whenever it parses things, it goes... Let me just paint on at this. So if we have like a statement, or like... We have like... Let's say int I equals 0, I equals I, or I guess a better example here is just int, or just like I equals 1 plus 2. So when it parses it, it checks to see if we can parse this whole thing, and then it checks each of these individually, and then afterwards it makes the whole instruction. So the way it parses them left to right. So we have like a stack of each of these going. So we have like, we have tokens, which is just like, we have atoms, which are like values and variables. And then we have like tokens, which is everything else that is like information carrying, but not necessarily an atom. So we parse I first. That adds I to atoms. We parse 1, that adds 1 to atoms. We parse the plus, that adds plus to tokens. And we add 2 to atoms. The problem is, these are stacks. So when we retrieve them, we have to retrieve them in backwards order. And I might have neglected to do that here, down here. So if we go here, yeah, we pop the T branch before the F branch. So we've done it in the wrong order. So after fixing that, let's try this again. I think this should work now though. Hopefully this works now. Yeah, that does exactly what we want it to now. Whoops. That's pretty funny though. Okay. So we can try else if now. Yeah, this looks about right. The indent's wrong. Like the indent's correct, but the indent's wrong. Let's see. How do we format this? Let's go back to the toString. Where is this? It isn't here. Okay, we actually want to treat else ifs in a pretty way, I think. So we'd have to get rid of this is scope thing, but that's fine. We can just rename it actually. No new line, I guess. T first char. So we want it to be a open brace or a... no, that doesn't work. I don't know. I don't care that much about it. We can just make this a feature and not a bug. What distro you'll use? I'm using Fedora here on WSL, but on my laptop I'm running Arch. Yeah, this is honestly fine. $12:40 AM? Damn. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Let's edit the test again, just to give it a shot. Let's give it another one. Oh, this doesn't indent properly. I see. Interesting first map? Yeah. That was fun. 24-hour time? That's based. I'm a fan. Okay. I need to fix indenting though, is what I'm seeing here. I don't know how it's breaking at least, so I'll need to figure that out. This goes in here. Okay, we might actually have to dynamic cast here. On second thought. Don't forget to stretch? Yep, I will do that. After stream ends, I will make myself food and then walk to class. So I'll get that exercise in. Yeah, we'll have to dynamic cast here. We have to do this first, unfortunately, which... Oh. Oh. What's wrong here? Unique putter. Okay. This. We're just gonna write a little bit of spaghetti code here. Actually, you know what? This is so annoying. I'm gonna need to write a helper for this anyway, actually. Yeah. Let's make a helper real quick. So we need like void, I guess like string. You want to convert, I guess, sub-scope. Potential sub? What do we call this? Process sub-expression. And then this takes a instruction putter. We can use this, I guess. You should try OpenSUSE. I might eventually. I don't have a good reason to though, for now at least. Okay, so now we want to steal some of the slush we have in here. So we want is scope. We'll just do that. We can actually just here actually. Yeah, we can just hide a lot of the ugly logic array. So if it's not a scope, then yeah, we're just gonna make a mess out of this. Fuck it. We need that in case we need to like restore things. Extend that, and then we want I accept this. Change that. Sub-expression result, and then if is scope, then sub-exper res gets that. That should actually just be this is so messy. I hate this. What do you want to handle what? I want this to... Okay, we should just make this a direct do everything. So we should just add sub. Let's just rename this. Okay. Yeah, so this should just vomit out a string in theory. So okay. Let's go back to here. String, so this is the inner. Let's just get a result. And then this is the actual result. It's the scope, then we add this. Oh wait, am I like super overcomplicating this actually? I don't think I am. No, I don't think I am. Yeah, because this is stuff we need to reuse anyway. So then we add inner, just straight up. Can return this is making such a mess. There's so much complexity here. Why am I doing this? Why have I done this? Yeah, I shouldn't make this return a string. Void. Because I know I'm gonna mess something up with the result in the future if I were to just, yeah. So yeah, this should just be attachable. So we subexpr res. Okay, so we have that now, and then down here we can finally start cleaning things up. So then so if this, so this, what is this? When is my class actually? Let me check. Okay, I have an hour. This is fine. Okay, so what do we want to do? T-str. I guess we just call it T. T branch. So I'll convert sub-expression for I get T branch, get have that. we can just do this. And then we should incrementally add this. Actually, we could even just do this. Or no. It's more maintainable. Okay, so then we need to figure this shit out. Let's just try it like this for now. Okay, well that does what we want it to now. So we want 64. Then it's 2, return cond else. This is also just a little bit of test building, I guess. Let's paste that again. Let's do just an if now. Let's do that. Let's try this. Okay, it looks like it indents properly. I also appear to have forgotten to put the else in though. No braces if else. This is a little bit of an ugly program, but yeah, I completely forgot to insert the else, which is fair enough. Yeah, okay. So can I just do this the naive way? I need to rebuild at least. What? The fuck? Oh, I see what's wrong. That was fine. Okay, well, okay, so it almost works. So we want to add the else, we want want to add so on a dynamic cast to scope putter. I'm gonna cast I get T branch. Not get. So if that's true, then we want to add a. So if it is a scope, then we want to add a space. Otherwise, we want to add a new line. I think. We'll find out really quickly if this is wrong. What could possibly have changed here? What the fuck? Okay, so I definitely broke something else in the process. I don't think it's that. Anyone see it at all? Like what? What changed? This should be fine. Fuck. Like, what was, huh? Okay. I see what's wrong now. I just didn't implement shit, which is fair. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay. We're very close. We just need to add an indent. Which means this needs to be a string. And okay, that's fine. T. Okay, this seems like it works. Let's make another chain one just to fully test this properly. This does exactly what we want it to. Okay, yeah, this might be the last test I write here. I need to get food before I wander off to class, so. If 1, then return 1, else if 2, 1, return 1, else return 1. Let's just do that. This is not a valid program, apparently. Oh, I see what's wrong. Whoops. That doesn't quite do what I want it to. That's a problem. Two. It's just 2, 3, 4, 5. That seems wrong. It seems quite incorrect, actually. This should be being read like this, at least. Why isn't this working? So if this exists, then we convert. Oh, I see why it's not working. Whoops. There we go. Alright, well this also fixes the other ones that were broken that I didn't realize were broken. So, cool. Alright. Let's take one more gander at this. I also think this is just how else ifs are parsed in programs in general, by the way. So, in case you're curious about that. Oh, what is happening? Why is it hanging? Okay. Okay, yeah, so it parses properly. Yeah, I'll extend these tests out next time, but I think this is a good place to start and a good place to stop. And just for good measure, let's make test passes those tests. Parser or parse if or else statements. I need to format. Whoops. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that's a good place to call it. I really need to eat before I go to class. So yeah, thank you all for showing up to the stream, even at this really early hour. Usually I don't stream at this around this time. Usually it's like in the evening when the LeetCode Daily refreshes. Make sure you like the stream and sub to my channel. It really helps get my content out to more viewers at any time of the day, actually. And while you're down there, make sure you join the Discord. This is the best place to get notified when I go live, and also chat with the general community and myself when I'm not streaming. And in the announcements, there's also like the stream time for tomorrow. This announcement was a lot more useful earlier on in the week when I was piling on a whole bunch of like strange stream times, but yeah, it's the best place to get notified. Hello, Mr. Hui. I am unfortunately wrapping up the stream for today. Yeah, sorry about that one. Also, if y'all haven't already, make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn and add me on GitHub to stay up to date with what I've been doing. So yeah, I'm gonna get food now. I have class in like 15 minutes. That gives me like 15 minutes to cook and 15 minutes to cook and 15 minutes to eat. So yeah, take care, y'all. Stay hydrated. Take it easy, and have a wonderful day.